The other part of it is I'm really encouraged because there's this thing called the economy and it's in the crapper. And it's gonna get worse, but I believe there's an answer and I believe the answer is in this room. Because it's you guys. I mean, people ask me, what about homeless? What's the solution? And I say, you are. I'm not smart enough to think about any policy or a 10-year plan or anything. All I know is that we all have to take action. I never thought it would happen to me. Homelessness comes in a lot of different shapes and forms. There's people from the wildfires that just happened, you know, in California, Southern California, that are still homeless. It's not just drugs and alcohol, and in fact, it's a very small percentage of people that are actually homeless from drugs and alcohol. The average age, you got a lot of teachers here, the average age of a homeless person is 9 years old. 3.5 million people slept on the streets last night in this country. 633,000 people were laid off last month. 577,000 people in November. In November, it was the biggest month since they started keeping records in 1939 of layoffs. So last month broke that. And what's going to happen? I mean, Los Angeles County School District's laying off 5,000, and you guys were talking about librarians and stuff, but you had the answer, was like, hey, let's get involved. When I first moved to LA, I got a job. I was working as a cook, and I had a little Toyota Celica. And I needed brakes, and it died on me, and I got on the MTA public transportation. It was my first time ever riding a bus. And I'm like this friendly guy, I like people, and all of a sudden this homeless guy gets on the bus, and he's got a bucket of dead fish. True story. And as he's walking down the aisle, people are putting stuff in that empty seat until he came to me. And he sat next to me. Now, I don't know what smelled worse, the homeless guy or that bucket of dead fish. I mean, it was just really, it was so bad that I didn't ride the bus again until I became that homeless guy. I lost my house in foreclosure 2 weeks ago. I'm living without an income. I've been laid off 4 times last year. The first time I lost a house, I was on heroin. I liked it so much better. That was a joke. It's okay to laugh. I didn't feel it. This time I had 14 years sober, and I felt every bit of it. You know, I didn't plan on this economy, but other people are going through it, and it's taught me a big learning experience. But for me to be there, and then I got to ask myself, I'm sitting there today, and I'm doing this a lot, is why am I here? Now, there's 2 things there, because I never branded myself as the homeless guy. I want to be Mark the TV guy, Mark the drumming guy, Mark the cool guy, not the homeless guy. I never raised my hand and said, I'm going to be a recycling engineer. You know, that's just not a smart career move. The other one is that I don't know any of you guys. And all through this Twitter thing, all of a sudden, and I don't have an income, and I just said, you know what, I'm going north. I'm on my way to the 10 cities. Now what I do, and what I want you to get out of this, is that whatever your challenge is, if whatever you want to do, you just do it. I did this with $45 and a laptop that can't cut video and a camera very similar to that. There's 5 to 20 blogs written about me and invisible people every day. Not every day, every week. These videos populate throughout the net. They start on Mind to Change.org, to Take Part, and to all these other organizations, because we're going to break these stereotypes. But I could have sat, and I was crazy. I lost my job the second time before, and I said, you know what, I was losing my mind. And I said, I got to do something. Well, I don't have anything, but you can, whatever you got. You know, you look at the solution, not what you don't have. I get emails from people saying, a girl in Montreal says, you know, I go down and I eat in the park every lunch, but I never talk to them. Now I talk to them.
After she's seen the
after she's seen the video. And that is it. I mean, it's to open a conversation. So we get a phone call and we drive up to Pasadena and there's a family. We put the family in the van and we're going to plug them back into services. And when we're unloading the family, there's a rock in the back and the dad points to it and I think, okay, he's pointing it out to help me clean it. So I go to grab it to throw it away and he goes, no, and he grabs it and gives it to his 6-month daughter. They're living in a park. The only toy they had was a rock. So that's pretty much it. That's me. I didn't know that this would take off like this. What had originally happened is I accepted a job as a marketing manager for a church denomination and I moved back to Los Angeles, and even though I was homeless, I didn't want to look at them. I didn't want to feel their pain. So I would look away. And I said, well, you know what? Everybody else has got to be doing that too. You know, we know they're there, but if I acknowledge their existence, then I have to do something. Now, what I didn't expect is that in the comfort of your own home, people would watch these videos.